Well, hello, my name's Mandy and my channel is Mandy Sorts It Out. And today I'm doing a spending review video for my spending for the week from the 1st to the 7th of March. And I'll show you a couple of shopping videos after that. I did intend to do a second video last week, and I actually made a video, but when I was editing it, I wasn't really liking it. It was about ultra-processed foods, and I think I need to go into the subject in a bit more depth before I actually speak on it, if I actually ever do speak on it now. So I'm going to talk about my spending for the week. It was £908.46. I spent £695 out of my housing budget on rent, £156.85 out of my gifts budget, and that was 2 payments. I gave a cash gift of £80 to one of my sons, and I took him and his significant other out for a meal, which was £76.85, which is not at all bad for 3 people, is it? I hadn't put an allowance for that in the budget, though. Although I'd remembered that I go to Jersey to meet my son for his birthday and I take him out for a meal, I hadn't put anything about taking my other son out for a meal, but I like to take my sons out for a meal on their birthday. And I spent £10.70 on a donation. For food, I spent £45.91. I spent £5.71 at Marks and Spencer's, £21.21 at Lidl, and £18.99 at Tesco. I have videos of all 3, but I'm only going to show you the M&S purchase and the Tesco purchase, because I've done the same with the Lidl shop that I did with the Aldi shop the other week, and I've done a comparison with Tesco and Sainsbury's. So I'm probably going to put that out as a separate video in its own right. Oh, by the way, as well, I've also had income this week of £1,544.73, and that's made up of a number of things. A small premium bond win, some small amount of interest, a £1 sale on Vinted. I think that's it. There was some expensive that had to come off the income because I paid out to register as a data protection thing. If you're a landlord in Jersey, you have to register for data protection, so I did. I don't really know why, because the only thing I know about my tenants is their names. I obviously know where they live, and I know their names. That's it, but I have to register for data protection. And then, because it's the first week of the month, this means my monthly budgets. I have 5 items that I deal with monthly: food, petrol, incidentals, toiletries and cleaning, and phone. I put £221 aside for them. This means there's not much to say on this. I've got food of £45.91, as I already told you, and that leaves £175.09. Incidentally, the food would have been about £27, but I went and did a shop on the 7th for the £18.99 at Tesco, purely because I had my son coming round to visit and I was out of the coffee he likes. So I brought my shopping forward a day. So had I not, this week would have looked fine. So I'm not going to worry about it, because bringing your shopping forward a day isn't going to have much of an impact, I don't think. Now let's look at how this affects my annual budget. And there are a few changes to my annual budget. I've had a bit of a sort through. Firstly, my income for the year from 1st of May 2025 to date is £17,097.92. Very healthy, quite happy with that. And I have spent £15,480.74 over that period, leaving £1,617.18 in my sinking fund. Quite happy with that. But I have adjusted an awful lot of the budgets. Firstly, visits. I put that up to £350, so that I've got £84.30 in there, because that's, I think, enough for me to take the car to visit someone and have a little bit of spending money. I'm not even sure if I'm going to have a visit, but if I have, at least I've got a bit of money there. I am talking to the one person who I may well have a visit with. They may come here, I might go to them, and seeing if we're going to do it before the 30th of April. Secondly, graduation. Now, you won't have seen graduation on there before, because for whatever reason, and I really can't think of one, I didn't think about putting a budget aside for graduation, even though I'm going to need one. It's not my graduation, it's my son's graduation. He's graduating this year, and we are going to have to do an overnight stay because it's a early morning graduation, and it's going to cost because I have said to him that I would like to buy him his hotel room for the night as my graduation present. It is an anniversary night for him and his significant other. So I want to make sure he has a nice place to stay and not just the cheapest place they can find. And I think it's a nice graduation present. I don't really like buying things for people. I much prefer to buy consumables, either in terms of experiences or in terms of things that they can actually consume. So I like the idea of buying him a hotel room, but buying a room for my son plus a room for me probably means that it's going to be very tight to come in under budget by the 30th of April. I may not make it because the rooms we've been looking at, the nearest hotel, they're about £300 a night. And they're nice rooms, but 2 rooms is then about £600. It is possible I might still make it because that was my travel savings budget and it's now graduation budget. That will cover 1 room. And if my income next month is around what it usually is, which is about 1,500, I will have £18,500 income for the year. So that will leave me about £500 because, as you can see in this first column, that is my budget for the year, the things I'm going to spend on, and it comes to £17,891.80. So it's £8.20 under £18,000. So if I get £18,500 income, I'll have £500 extra there, and I can take my room cost out of there, and I will make it. But if it doesn't come in around that much, and it depends if the paint has finally turned up and painted and needs to be paid, then I won't make it. But it's just one of these things. I really, really want to pay for this graduation present, and I need to do it now while the rooms are still available. I can't wait until closer to the time. His graduation isn't for like 3 or 4 months. And the next budget I changed is gifts, because I hadn't also thought about taking my son out for a meal on his birthday. The gifts budget wasn't enough. So I've increased that to £745, and that leaves me with £45.63. And I've already bought a present out of the following week's budget that will bring that down to about £4, £5. And that's because all I need to buy after that is a card. So I needed to bump that one up slightly. So I bumped the card budget up to £1,105 because I didn't think £243.97 would be enough to get my car serviced and MOT. So I have put the extra £100 in there. We shall see. It could even be much more than that. It might be less. I don't know. I've got to find a garage. I meant to ask people last week if they could recommend a garage in the area. Totally forgot. So I shall ask this week the people I see. Then the MISC budget I have slightly altered because I know that the only remaining payment on that budget is £19.99 on my Microsoft subscription, so that I have storage. So I've changed it so that once that's paid, it's down to 0. So that will be fine. Then I've changed my housing budget slightly because I worked out what expenses I would have in the coming months at the current rate, and it showed that I had £110, I think, more than I needed in the housing budget. This is probably because I had in my housing budget that I was paying electricity of £75 a month. As you probably remember, if you're a long-term visitor, Eon Next kept trying to get me to reduce the budget. In the end, I did it. I thought I might as well have the money in my savings as have the money sitting with Eon Next. And as it happens, I didn't use it all. I have turned the heating off now. Last couple of days, it's been a bit chilly, but I think the weather's going to pop back up again, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm using a fan heater in the evenings when the temperature does become just a little bit too cold, and I'm getting by, and it's fine. And I don't really want to spend any more money on my electric than I have to, because it's tight. My budget is tight. If I'm going to make this 18,000, it's tight. I've got, like I say, I've got my car to get serviced and MOT'd. It's a bit scary. And my monthlies, as I said in my last video, I'd realised that I had excess money in my monthlies budget, because at a maximum I was going to try and spend was £442. So I reduced my monthlies to £2,470. So I've got two shopping videos I'm going to show you now. One of them, I went to Marks and Spencer's. I was going there to pick up a parcel of things I bought in the sale, and I didn't have anything ready for tea, so I thought I might as well buy some food while I was there. Also, on that trip, I stopped off at a corner shop and picked up an Amazon parcel. So I'm going through the Amazon parcel, the Marks and Spencer's parcel, and the Microsoft and the M&S shop all in one go in that video. And then the next video is me going through what I bought at Tesco's. As I've said, I will hold the Lidl video over until later in the week, so you can watch those now. Just back from picking up some parcels. First parcel was an Amazon parcel I picked up. Thank you so much to Sharon for living on a thrifty lifestyle, for explaining to me that if I did click and collect, I wouldn't pay postage. I didn't know that. Brilliant. So I can get them what I want, when I want it, without postage. Let me just open it. Faraday pouches. These are to put my car keys in. Just a little pouch, really, but you can add it to your key fob. And then you add your car key to the chain inside. And people did comment on this that had bought it, saying they'd pressed the key button to open the car from inside the pouch and nothing happened. So it seemed to work. So I've got two of those, slightly different colours. One will be for my spare key, which lives behind the kitchen door, and one for my main key. Emergency blanket. It's supposed to be a pack of 6. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to open that, because I think that's going to have to get returned. And there should be 2 emergency triangles, which it is, and a fluorescent jacket. Let's see if that fits. It fits. It's a little snug, and of course, if I was to wear this at the scene of an accident in the wind and the rain, I'd be putting it on over my coat. So what I think I'm going to do is slit it down the back and put a panel in so that it's big enough to go on top of a coat. So let's have a little look at these warning triangles. I don't know how this works. This one's got a hook on it. Oh, does it fit there? They're very light. I think a breath of wind and my emergency triangle will be off down the street. But better than nothing. I'll just check the other one. The legs keep coming off the little feet as I open them, but they're all there. So yeah, I'll pack that away now. That was a bit of a struggle, but hopefully they can go into the car now and never be needed. And then I picked up the sale goods I bought from Marks, and while I was there I went to the shop. So let's look at the sale goods first. That's a very thin pair of leggings. It's supposed to be thermal leggings. Give them a try on. Thermal Heat Gen Super Soft Warm and Lightweight Scoop Neck Long Sleeve Top. It's very soft. Nice. What's that? Burgundy? Oh, you don't see my bra. So while I was there, I went in the shop because I suddenly realised I didn't have anything for dinner. So I went in the food shop and I've got some of their chicken leg portions. These are 3 for £1.50. And it says it weighs, where is it? 600 grams. And I also thought, I wonder if they sell £1.99 butter. No, they don't sell it for £1.99. £2 M&S unsalted butter. And I thought, I need some, running low. I thought, I don't want to go to another shop. I've already used petrol to get here. And then while I was there, I looked at the reduced stuff in the food to go counter. I just fancied something, you know, and there was a little pot of fruit. It was mango, blueberries and strawberries, and it was £1.46 from £2.25. So not a great reduction, but to have a little pot of cut fruit, and it all looked really fresh, because strawberries can often be very squishy in these pots, but these weren't at all. They were still very tart. I thought, that's a treat. And then I was starting to realise I was really thirsty. And I thought, I don't want to buy a drink, but if I have a fruit and a yoghurt in the car, that'll keep me lubricated until I get home. And they were selling these aren't reduced, but little Greek-style yoghurts with peach and apricot. And it's peach and apricot puree in there with live cultures. And these were 75p. So I got one of those as well. So that cost me £5.71. It's not a lot for £5.71, is it? It's a little snack that I've already had. And some chicken and butter. So that snack cost me, because that chicken and butter cost me, my goodness, that snack cost me £2.21. Yeah, it was very, very, very nice, but I probably wouldn't do it again. I did a small but rather unusual shop from Tesco's, and it's only unusual for me. I didn't buy the sort of things that I normally buy. But we'll go through it. First off, because it's cheaper to buy things at Tesco that are price matched with Aldi, I bought some unsalted butter that'll last for ages in the fridge. These mini potatoes were on special. They were 99p, so I bought those. Bought a pepper because it was 70p, price matched with Aldi. I bought 3 bananas at 52p. I bought the Creamfields yogurt, which is 65p. But the skier, I've never actually tried it. It was on special, so I thought I'll try it. It's a huge pot. But that was down to £2.75 from £3.30. The mixed berry panna cotta is just a favourite of mine, and it happened to be on special. Only down to £2.24, but I decided to treat myself. I bought 2 panoresa because my son's coming for a cup of coffee and a cake, and they were £1.90. And I brought my son's favourite coffee because I drink decaf, and I realised that the non-decaf I've got is very out of date. That was £3.95. And I didn't want to buy a big one because it'll go out of date before I can use it, because I don't use caffeinated coffee. And I bought some dark chocolate. Now the cheap bars are 75p bars. I can't seem to get dark chocolate anywhere. And I decided I'm not going to be eating milk anymore. It's too sweet and it doesn't give you enough benefits. This was £2.30 for a 200g bar, which is a great deal more than £1.50 it would have been if I'd have bought 2 100g bars. 55% proof and low in salt. I bought 2 ciabatta, loose ciabatta. That's just for lunch to have with my hummus. Unusually for me, white bread. Thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.